Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to today's version of the Ocean Pines Board meeting. We're about to start. Please rise to repeat the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. What a great turnout for a beautiful Saturday morning in July. Do I have a motion to approve today's agenda? Second? All in favor? Any opposed or abstentions? Today's agenda has been approved. Going to go to the approval of the minutes from the June 27th, 2025 public hearing. Do I have a second? Any discussion? No discussion. All in favor? Any, okay, that passes too. June 28th, 2025 regular meeting. Do I have a motion to accept the minutes? The 28th, excuse me. Do I have a motion to accept the minutes? Do I have a second? Any discussion? Seeing no discussion, all in favor, say aye. Any, okay, that passes too. President's remarks. I hope everybody had a safe and enjoyable 4th of July. Ocean Pines was bursting with patriotic spirit. It was truly heartening to see so many families and neighbors come together to celebrate. The day started with our annual Freedom 5K, which saw an incredible turnout. Runners, walkers, and supporters brought great energy to the event, setting a festive tone for the rest of the holiday. It was a perfect example of community pride and togetherness that makes Ocean Pines so special. Our Parks and Rec team, headed by Debbie Donahue, deserves a standing ovation for organizing an unforgettable day of fun and celebration. From the race, to the games, to the music, spectacular fireworks, their hard work and creativity made this year's festivities truly shine. I also want to give a heartfelt thanks to our fire and EMS personnel, headed by Chief Joey Widgeon and President Joe Entz, who responded to a record number of calls over the holiday weekend. The department was pressure tested like never before. They did a yeoman's job in keeping our community safe. We are all grateful for their service and dedication. As we look ahead, I want to remind all homeowners to vote in this year's Board of Directors election, and to please vote yes on the referendum that would allow the Southside Fire Project to move forward. This is a critical step in supporting first responders who support us every day. Thank you for being part of what makes Ocean Pines such a vibrant and special place. Thank you. Moving on, we're going to go to the GM report. John?
Thank you, Stuart. Okay, we'll start off with average the picture, and Stuart already talked about the 4th of July, but the fireworks was a big success. Every year we enhance it. It's a total team effort. I thought this 4th of July was great. All right, so here's what we'll talk about today. Linda will talk to you about the DMA and everything else. I will start off with the initiatives and where we are going as a organization. So obviously maintenance is very important. We're always talking about that. We've put a lot into maintenance, just giving you an idea of some of the stuff we did since the last time. There was a lot of questions on the water fountain for the racket sports. Yes, it was damaged during the construction. We did replace it in addition to the 2 working fountains we had. And of course, anytime there was a heat alert, we did have water available at no charge to anybody that was playing. The lighting at the new courts were installed. That is big because now obviously they have the other new courts that they can play at nighttime, and that's a big win for everybody. The landscaping, I did get several emails on it. Obviously with the weather and the change in the weather in the water, weeds popped up and everything, and we needed to catch up, which I believe we did. And that's a separate report that we gave to the racket sport community. You see some pictures there. We did the weeding, we put mulch, everything was mulched, everything was trimmed. Maybe we were a week or 2 behind with people being on vacation, but we caught up. And compliments to those people that sent me nice emails telling me we needed to do it. Slat board updated upon receiving supplies. A big thing we had with the old building was everybody told me or told us that if we had a better presentation or a new clubhouse, which we do have, that would stimulate sales of rackets and all that stuff. So hopefully the numbers aren't showing it yet, but hopefully they will. And hopefully we go forward. Courts were reevaluated. We did close them down based upon an email I received from a gentleman, and obviously he cared, but upon reevaluation from that gentleman and everybody else, we reopened them. We are still waiting for a date from ATK or ATC to come in and do the cracks, but we are on the list for that. Hopefully it happens quick. Turn the page. So the Bay County sign, we did receive some emails on that. It's like anything else. A lot of people have different opinions. We're trying. We did paint it. You see the light there. We did fix it, but we did order 2 new lights that will match the Northgate Bridge. So we try to have consistency there. The other thing is on the Northgate Bridge, there was damage. A car hit the railing. The railing needs to be replaced along with the garden. We do have that on the schedule. We're hoping within a week or two. They'll probably close down one night for Public Works to do the work. So unfortunate, but we do have it on the list, and hopefully we get it corrected quickly. Drainage, let's talk about drainage. I believe from 6 years ago, the drainage has very much improved. Credit, what I call Together We're Better, all the association, all the homeowners that are helping out with their ditches, which has been fantastic. We did have over 2 inches of rainfall on July 14th. There were no reports of severe drainage issues. We drove around. Big difference from what I saw 6, 7 years ago when I would drive around when we had over 2 inches of rain. Compliments to everybody, especially the association, the board, everybody. Firehouse, this is a big one. I see the gentleman here if they want to jump in. The referendum, just to repeat, referendum was mailed along with the election material. Credit to John and his election team. We did save money by including it with the elections, which everybody wanted. We mailed it July 7th, due back on August 6th, results released on August 8th. We did post frequently asked questions, and I have them back in the addendum to this. They're on our website, all the questions that we received. A lot of the answers coming from the fire department. It made sense to me, everything that they wrote. Along with a very good narrative, if anybody wants to know what's been going on. Of course, we've been updating on the board meetings. The estimate for the Ocean Pines, what we asked for in the referendum was 3.7 million. Yes, a 10% contingency, and I have explained that. We still need to get bids. We had bids from a year and a half, 2 years ago. We were not able to get them in time for the referendum, but we believe with that, we should be in the ballpark. So that's the reason. I did have a gentleman come in. He emailed the board. He was very professional. I went through everything we're doing with him, and he thought everything we were doing was correct. So, and he gave us some guidance also that Eddie and I have taken. So I always appreciate when somebody with background comes in. The funding also, the fire department had the grants. They've talked about that. So total team effort with the Ocean Pines Volunteer Fire Department. Joey, I know we've been in meetings. You want to add anything?
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
All right, good. We've learned. It's been a little while since I've been up here, but all right. So yes, we've been working lockstep with the Ocean Pines Association on this project now for years. There's been a lot of good conversation that's come up on Facebook with a lot of good questions. We've done our best to try to respond to all those questions and provide information about why certain decisions were being made, what the processes look like. The biggest thing that we can say is, please, if you still have questions, don't just vote without having those questions answered. Come to us, come to John or one of the board members. We'll get your answers. Every stone, in my opinion, has been turned over. We've gone behind every door, tried to make sure that this is the best project that we can present to this community for now and for the future. So please don't hesitate to reach out to us, and we'll try to get the best information we can for you. So thank you all for your support.
Yeah, thank you, Joe.
Thanks, President.
Yep, a lot of good work done by everybody. One page. All right, so the amenities, want to talk a little bit about it, give a perspective. I know Stuart already talked about the 4th of July, just some numbers. I always like to have numbers to see where we're at. Obviously, that's the equalizer, but it's all about the customer, homeowner experience, and we want to enhance it. So obviously, we're not looking to make money, which is basically everything we do. We just like to try to cover costs at time. This is something that you're not going to cover the cost, but this is a valued piece of your assessment. So some numbers Debbie came up with accounting, probably brought in around $21,000. No, I'm sorry. The $21,000 was the total versus the budget. The budget was $36,000. So favorable to the budget, and it was enhanced versus the prior year. And then you see the revenue and then the expenses. So I think a very good job by everybody. It's not just Rec and Parks, it's everybody. It's the entire team effort, obviously the board and the association. The golf membership, very always very happy to see this. The membership's been growing in golf. Each year we come in here and it's grown. Hope to see that with everything else, every other membership. So just to give you some numbers, third year in row increase. So last year, the actual was somewhere around 140 memberships. The actual so far this year is around 170. The budget was around 150. So we're doing better. Compliments to everybody. The course, as I'm probably going to show on another slide or two, was, well, let me wait to that slide. Pricing initiative shows positive results. As you know, we did a pricing study for everything last year. I thought it was professional. It was definitely benchmarked, and we've seen good results. So we believe that golf is positioned well with everybody else. This is a challenging course, which the golfers like, and the value for the money is one of the best. So they always keep it. If they come down to play 3 or 4 rounds, we're on their radar. Golf club sales are an increase. Credit to Bob and his team. We don't make a lot of money on them. However, it's something for the membership. You get a specialized treatment, and it's really good. I've done it myself. Continuing to work closely with both the hotel package groups and OC Golf Getaways in order to ensure future tourists and package. That is mandatory of anybody I have in charge of that golf course. That will happen. It has happened and will continue. All pools reach capacity at 11 a.m. July 4th and 5th. We're seeing that if the weather's good, they're full. And I think they're in great shape. Turn the page. Marina, sales strong, well ahead of 2024 for the month. So we do have the small craft advisories. Got off a little slow with the season like everybody on the Eastern Shore. The Marina is really picking up, showing some really good numbers. Credit to Noby and his team down there. Of course, Eddie, Noby reports to Eddie. We're just seeing a lot of organic growth on a lot of different things, whether it's apparel and some other stuff he's doing. The junior pickleball camp started July 14th. I know Terry's proud about that. The bocce courts, wow, let's talk bocce. Mike Galileo, his work group, he has been very constructive, professional. We invested money in there, certainly. Probably the return will probably be in 5 years, 6 years. That's good. There's a big turnout for it, and I've been there watching the games, and it's growing. It's very nice. And obviously it ties into the food and beverage, which is what Mike wanted. And I definitely see that people are buying food and drinks from the Yacht Club Tiki Bar. So credit there. Food and new menu released July 10th. You know, the menu right now is fluid with them. Credit to them. Let's not forget that Touch Italy took over in March, and I think they hit the ground running. So March, and then obviously everything started gearing up in April. So give them a chance. I know the numbers are showing it. I track the numbers every night. If the weather's good, you have a good product, you're making money, and they are. Golf course. So just one more on the golf course. So we put this in there. This came out the other day. A few people sent it to me. Ocean Pines Golf Club, best golf course on the Eastern Shore. From this survey, that's a credit to everybody. It's a credit to the association. It was 6-7 years ago where we came in. I came in. We all came in. We were going to invest. So instead of cut, which happened 3-4 years before that, we invested. Credit to the boards, credit to the association, everybody. We got the results. We got the results. With that, you cannot cut a golf budget 3% each year. And go back and check the videos, and you'll see people pounding their chest to cut it, and then expect the place to do well. And then the same people turn around and say, "Look, golf's not doing well." So anyway, we've changed the style, how we did it, and we've definitely got the results. Golf is in the black. It was in the black the last 2 years. It will be in the black this year, hopefully with the weather. So, you know, credit on that. It was 5 years ago that us hired Justin Hartshorn. It's probably one of the best things we did. Justin had sat down with me in the beginning, 5-year plan. That 5 years is up. You see the difference in the golf course. We're now working on another 5-year plan. Obviously, the irrigation system is central to that, and that will bring us to the next level. I met with Justin when we had to make a change for the Golf Pro. We talked about it. We believed we needed somebody with customer service. We had everything else. Thus, Bob had a reputation the last 2 times he worked here for customer service, and I believe that's worked out for everybody. So credit there to everyone. Turn the page.
Excuse me, John.
Sure.
I just want to highlight that critical investment in the golf infrastructure is paying off in spades and keeping our assessments low, about it being the economic engine that is keeping everything running. I just thought you might want to comment on that also.
Thank you, Stuart. It is the economic engine. I've been saying that for years, but I do want to add to that today, and that was a perfect segue from Stuart, and I'll take advantage of it. Driven by your senior management team. Driven by your senior management team. Of course, credit to the board, credit to the association. Driven by the senior management team. Or everybody. Turn the page. Thank you, Stuart. DMA study, let me start off on this, and then Linda will take over. So DMA study, I've talked about that. We've all talked about it. It's probably one of the best things we did 7 years ago. Credit to Dave Stevens, Tom Herrick, and everybody. They did ask me to join it. I was from a different standpoint. I was budget and finance. The association, the board, everybody. We had this tool in place for 7 years. Now all the homeowners associations have to have it. We're actually up for the third time. They'll be coming in August, September. We just signed the contract. We'll talk about it here. I've been talking about it for months. So hopefully we get on his radar for August to September. This way we have this information by the time we do the next budget. I've mentioned that I need this in order to tie in the reserves and everything and how we're going to fund the fire department. I've coined the phrase, not me, but here, a Goldilocks situation, hopefully, but I need this tool. I need this, and credit to everybody that supported it. And I'm looking forward to it. That initiative will be led by Linda Martin. Mark will assist on it. Eddie Wells is already working on it. One way or another, every department head will work on it. And we've already started. It's big. The timeline I mentioned, August, September, we should have it all done. We should have enough information for the next budget cycle, as well as the fire department, the funding. I think it's going to work out for everybody. Then there'll be a draft report that will be released approximately 3 months after the field work completed. Working session with budget and finance and board to be scheduled, estimated somewhere around December. With that, I'm going to hand off to Linda, and Linda will take you through some of the stuff.
Okay, the cell tower, I know we put it out there in press releases. Milestone Towers is holding a virtual town hall. We have the link on our website to register for the event. It'll be held at 6 o'clock this Monday. So if you haven't registered already, you can go on, they'll send you the link, and it's a virtual town hall. Electronic signs, permits received in May from Worcester County for both locations. I know if you go, they've already placed, there's the pictures, Cathell Road and Menklin Creek Road. So they should be in shortly. We're running the power to both locations. So once that's done, then we'll be going ahead and putting in the new signs. Mailboxes. I know this was put out on social media. Mailboxes are being put in at Wood Duck, as stated on the April 26th board meeting. For this year, we are replacing the Wood Duck and Cannon Drive locations. Wood Duck is going in now. Cannon Drive, I did check with Public Works. They said it'll probably be sometime in September. The mailboxes are in. They're just waiting to get this project done and have a little slow season. So the total cost is $72,519 for the Wood Duck, $25,933 for Cannon Drive. We will be reevaluating the mailbox locations in September to be put in the upcoming budget. So we do have a game plan as far as phase 3. So we will be reevaluating all the mailboxes.
Let me just step in. So thank you, Lynn. So just talk about the mailbox. We talk about the assessment, whether we say the assessment's big or not. Everybody's focused on the assessment. The assessment has been decreased over the last 3, 4, 5 years. We're down to $875 from $996. We're down to $850. So you could say we reduced the assessment $146 a couple of years ago. What I just want to point out is the mailboxes is something new that we've really been focused on the last 5 years. That would be an increase just here, right what we did this year so far in this one is probably $8 on the assessment. We've been doing that each year. So that's been covered. So we not just reduced the assessment, we've also covered new types of spend or repurposed money. So I just want to point out this is a good one, and rightfully so. I mean, I drove by this morning. They really look good, and we will continue to march on the mailboxes.
John, go ahead.
John, just to remind everyone, we own all of the mailboxes in this community, correct?
Yeah, so thank you, John. So John is right. So originally they were owned by the post office years ago. the post office decided all of a sudden not to maintain them or whatever, and said, we own them. So there was a long period of time, we really didn't do anything, who owned it, whatever. 5, 6 years ago, the board stepped forward or whatever, and rightfully so, and said, hey, we own this thing now, and let's take care of it. So we've been doing that. But correct, we own them. But this is, over time, will probably be a couple $1 million by the time we finish replacing them. This is just one. You can see how much it costs. So we've been doing it. We've been successful. We do have a game plan. We do rate them like we do the roads, the bulkheads, and everything else. But yeah, this will be a couple $1 million to Ocean Pines by the time we're done. Again, so far it's been covered with a decreased assessment.
Yeah,
Thank you,
John.
Johnny.
John, sorry, just
Yeah, yeah,
one,
yeah.
one,
That's a
one
good
more
question.
question. So want to be clear because I live in Marina Village Sub-Association. We own the shed and the cover. Our association, our sub-association paid for that. We maintain it. We fix the roof, we paint it and everything we do. There's quite a few of them in our community that are owned by the sub-association. I'm called a sub-association. That's correct, right?
Yes, that is correct. Obviously, just like this, over time, whatever. But you're correct. They're the ones that have to maintain it, like other certain things in those homeowners associations. If there's ever a change to that or something, obviously that has to start at the policy chair. I was polite. I was polite. Yeah, yeah. No, you're right. Yep.
Why are we not putting?
No, it's a good point, John. But that obviously would have to change. It comes from the policy. All right.
Okay, moving forward, CPI, there was an organizational change. Press release was sent out on July 10th notifying that CPI now reports to Novi Violante. CPI has also moved to the Public Works Building, and now marketing and public relations has moved to the administration building. And this is a good time to introduce you to Sarah Ash. She is the Senior Public Relations Coordinator. She comes from WMDT for 7 years. She worked there, and she's a graduate of Virginia Tech. So please welcome Sarah.
Okay, so just let me just add something to this. So obviously I made the changes. I've spoken for years how I see an org chart. I don't see it as static. I see it as fluid. The board, especially 2 years ago, the board representatives during my review came in and said, we want a succession plan. Cross-training our team, new skill sets, new behaviors and everything, I believe makes a stronger team. I believe it is succession planning. We are developing our team and several people that I believe one day, or if not now or whatever, to be determined, but that could someday run a homeowners association, whether it's Ocean Pines or somewhere else. So we did make some changes, and there probably will be another change on here. Obviously, we have other opportunities, and we may have somebody from the CPI team moving on to something else. So, change is good. It's fluid, different management styles. Credit to everybody. Linda, nobody's more knowledgeable than Linda on all this stuff, and especially Eddie and Nobi. So I think it's a good move for everybody, and it's part of succession planning.
Okay, moving on to the CPI violation dashboard, 184 new violations, 459. Actually, I had a note, since Nobi's taken over, he's trying to clean up the process, and they're down below 400. So they've closed out a lot of violations this week. So I'm proud of that. Good job, Nobi and the team. Currently, 122 of the 459 violations, which are now lower, are illegal. We do have the majority open in maintenance, trash and debris, 140. Work orders, 127 new work orders, 92 closed, 177 still open. We are upping on the drainage. We are trying to get a contractor to go out and fix some of the locations. So we do have 94 open in drainage, 24 over 30 days, 36 over 60 days. And customer service, 87 phone calls and emails. And if you have any questions, email info@oceanpines.org or call 410-641-7717. Okay.
Right, all
Okay.
right, so we have an addendum in there.
It'll be posted online.
It's posted online also. So anybody can check that. Financials, just give me a second. All right, so we start off with the month. Where am I? I'm in July. So the June financials, it's up there. Let's go to the bottom corner. Somebody told me one time, John, just go to the bottom corner. That's what they're interested in. That gentleman's sitting in the back. He's right, even though it blew my mind with all this, but he's right. So for the month, we're favorable, 108,000, 110,000, favorable to budget, right? So that doesn't mean it's profit or anything like that. You can see the numbers. It's favorability. It's driven by the marinas has come in strong. Golf was down a little bit versus budget. The start of July, we had bad weather. It did affect the golf course as well as food and beverage. They did kind of make it up, but that first week did affect us. We have a very good product, but obviously we need good weather, and we've proven that. We do have favorability in the administration, which is the accounting department is part of that. So we do have some openings in the accounting department where we obviously didn't have to pay salaries. We have 2 positions, so that has driven some of the savings. The good thing is that we've been able to be operational with the, despite being down 2 people for probably 2 months. Credit to the team on that. So that's a big part of that. The public works, some of that is timing. We did receive some EDU money that we didn't budget for. That's a hard one to do. But as they get their permits or occupation permits for the houses in Triple Crown, we get the EDU money. So a lot of that is savings. All right, so the year to date, really the one I like to focus on. You could see golf is a good part of that. We'll talk about racket sports last. Go down to administration. I talked about that. When you got 2 positions open for 2 months, you're going to have a lot of savings there. We were favorable in some of our outside contractors, specifically accounting and legal. We were favorability to budget on that. Always good to see. Yeah, I thought you were clever. The finance, the marketing, we have brought in more marketing revenue. There is a mix on the salaries. Where now the salary of certain people is different. So we got favorability there. That happens sometimes when you have a change. So let's talk about the racket sports. That's a big number. It is about the memberships. When I look at prior year, and I like to do prior year at the end of the year to compare, but when we look at prior year for racket sports, we're kind of within 9,000 of where we were last year. Obviously, we did not receive the memberships that we thought. We did think we would have more memberships with building the clubhouse and the enhancement with all the racket sports facility down there. It has not happened yet, but we do see slowly coming in. And then we did hear some people elected to stay in Delaware. Turn the page. All right, so this is the balance sheet. This is a big one. This kind of is like a report card. Go to the bottom right corner, 4.8 million. That's what we're projecting we'll be at the end of this year, at the end of our fiscal year. So you can see, go down to the bottom, the rest is straightforward all year long, but you can see we estimated the fire department, assuming that we go ahead with the referendum. Obviously, the number we're looking at is over 3 million for Ocean Pines, but we figured by the end of the first year, we probably would have spent $1.7 million, $1.5 million. So we're already trying to see where our ending number will be, along with everything else. So that's where I'll be. That's the number when we sit down with the DMA team, when they come in, where we can see, based upon their study, where we are as an association. Okay, and we've talked a lot about
John?
that. Yep.
Before we move on, I just wanted to ask you to highlight with the construction, anticipated construction of the Southside Firehouse, that our contribution is not all at once. It's spaced over a period of time.
Correct. Absolutely. So you're right. So we're saying 3.7, like Stuart said. You see this first year, because this will cross 2 fiscal years at least. Then the second year ours would be 2 million. Remember that the fire department has money. Obviously, we want to use their money first. They are well within the parameters of what they were told for a time frame to utilize the money. So, but we will be using their money also. And
Thank you,
credit to Mary Beth and Wayne and everybody else that helped the association. I do believe the county had said they would whatever, so we have to follow up on that. Okay. All right, treasurer.
Okay, thank you, John. Treasurer's report, Monica Rakowski.
Thank you, Stu. As of June 30th, the association had approximately 17.7 million in cash. Cash decreased 1.4 million from the same time period last year. Cash decreased 3.2 million from May of this year. We have 8.9 million invested in CDARS. We've earned 54,000 in interest income. And the remaining 8.8 million is in insured sweep accounts, treasury bills, money market, and other operating accounts diversified between 2 local banks.
Thank you, Monica. We're going to now move to public comments. Any members seeking to make a public comment, you're limited to 5 minutes. Come to the podium, state your name and your address, and then comment. Open the floor. Anybody have a public comment? I see one.
Hi, good morning. My name is Laura Pangratz. I live at 2 Harpoon Road. Just had a couple of quick questions. The town hall for the cell tower, will that be recorded and shared for those who can't attend during that time? And if so, do you still need to register to be able to get that recording or anything like that?
Yeah, I'll verify with Milestone Towers. I'm pretty sure they said it was going to be recorded, and I'll try to get the recording afterwards.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
Their presentation also will be put out. We'll put all that out. So, but
Okay.
yeah, we'll check. She'll check.
Wonderful, thank you. I would also like to encourage a town hall be scheduled to discuss the upcoming ARC revisions for the guidelines. I think there's still a lot of discussion that needs to happen on the new redlined document. So I would love to see a town hall be presented to allow the residents, not just lot owners, but residents, the chance to be able to give some input about what's in the ARC guidelines and ask questions about it for clarification. Lastly, or not almost lastly, I had one other clarification that I would like to ask is that when you call a department and you leave a message, and they say that your call will be returned within 24 to 48 business hours, are they really saying that if a business day is 8 hours, they have 3 to 6 days to return your phone call? Because that's the way it's listed or spoken in the voicemails for the CPI department.
Or CPI.
Or are we saying that
True.
24 to 48 hours would be like 1 to 2 business days? I understand no evenings, weekends, holidays, that kind of stuff. But I think I would recommend saying it in terms of days then versus hours so that there's no confusion about when to expect a phone call back. Because if you do receive a violation and that's a time frame, they give you 2 weeks once the letter is dated to be able to respond. But if you don't get that letter in the mail and it's on a weekend, all of that, then potentially when you call on a Monday, they could have 6 days, which would take you to the next Monday, which is after that deadline of supposedly when they're coming back out to re-inspect. So just a little, clarification thing I think would be helpful for all of us so that we're not questioning how much time do we have and all of that. Or if we're leaving a message within that time, it's documented that we made the effort before the deadline to try and call, that kind of stuff.
So, and what's your name again, Laura?
Say it again.
What's your first, Laura? Laura, I was just asking your first name again. I couldn't.
Oh, yeah,
Laura. So Laura, first of all, thank you for bringing this forward to me. If you're in my staff meetings, you'll hear that I tell them there's no such thing as 24 to 48 hours. I want them returned. Now, there is a department that I knew about. It wasn't the one that you just told me about, where that person put that. I explained it to that person several times. It's still there. Now I'll explain it to that department head differently, but it wasn't CPI. We are going to look at that.
Okay.
Where that's not what we want. It's certainly not what I talk about in the staff meetings. So I'd appreciate you bringing it forward.
Yeah, and it's just,
Yeah, no, I
have
appreciate
no
it.
problem.
Yeah,
know
I don't
everybody
want that
needs
either.
Time to return phone calls,
Yeah,
but I just
no,
think
you're
it
right.
was a little not clear enough, so.
No, I
And
appreciate it.
lastly, on a positive, comment that I would like to share. Several months ago, one of our longtime residents and great volunteer, Jim Trummel, had passed away. And unfortunately, I was not able to be at the meeting physically in person to make a comment, but I do thank the board for acknowledging his passing and giving a moment of silence at that meeting. I wanted to share that the current bylaws committee and several of our past committee members, we all went together and we purchased a memorial brick in his name and have it at the Veterans Memorial Park. I couldn't think of the name, but he was served in the Vietnam War, but we had so his brick is near the Marines Wall. So we just wanted to honor him because he was a very, very positive person, very humble, very thoughtful and insightful, and could tell you the bylaws,
Laura,
names and
Laura,
numbers.
you've hit your 5 minutes. I'm sorry.
And just go take that in consideration and look at that and honor your volunteers. They're very important. Don't ever turn away a volunteer.
Thank you very much. Are there any other public comments? Anybody wishing to make a public comment, please come forward, state your name, and you shall be also limited to 5 minutes. And come on up.
I want to keep this positive as much as I can. Ocean Pines.
Excuse me, you have to state your name and your address first.
Giuseppe Giovanni Kosha.
Thank you. What's your address?
What's that?
What's your address?
96 Whitehorse Drive.
Okay, thank you.
Ocean Pines is probably one of the best communities in the whole country. I've lived in a lot of variety of places, and to all credit we deserve here, Premier, we have the best schools, we have the best community, golf courses. Anything you want is basically here. So started with a positive. The negative is the Maryland Home and Improvement Commission, MHIC, is located in Baltimore. Okay, it really doesn't even have an outlet down here. So these contractors that are running around on this, in these areas around here, they're not licensed and insured, a lot of them. And you homeowners are using them. They put on their trucks licensed and insured. That's not legal. You have to have MHIC and the number on the truck. On your stationery, it's got to say MHIC. Your business cards, everything you do. And a lot of you homeowners are coming back at me because my prices aren't the best. But these guys come in here, they're not licensed, they're not insured, and they'll give you an outstanding price, and you guys are jumping on it. Not you people on here, but I'm saying in general. So be careful with that, okay? Be careful with that. I'm nobody to tangle with, and I really don't want to turn anybody in. And I'm being nice about this. But it's partly Baltimore's fault because they don't even come down here. Okay, they're in Baltimore, they're understaffed, and they don't do their job very well. I've worked up there, I've been in Baltimore, I've been all over, I've been a variety of different places. So be careful. Even if you're the association, if somebody comes in here, it has to say MHIC. It has to be insured. Okay, being licensed and insured does not mean the same thing as having the license. There's a difference. These guys are coming in saying licensed and insured. Yeah, I got a driver's license, or I've got some of the license that's not legal. Okay, when they come onto your job site, if they just say licensed and insured, they get hurt, you're responsible for it. As a homeowner, you're responsible. Unless it says licensed and insured under MHIC, then I'm responsible. If my people come on there, I'm responsible. They say licensed and insured, they come on your job, they get hurt, they'll come after you. And it happens, okay? And people, a lot of people have $1 million homes and beautiful homes. You look around here and they're absolutely outstanding. And people look to save $10 to use a contractor that's not licensed and insured. And you want to take that kind of chance? I just don't see it. So it's up to you. Do the best you can with it. I'm just trying to make you aware of it. I'm not going to MHIC about it. I'm gonna stay legal about it. I'm giving you the opportunity. I can do it. Now, if you shoot bleach on against the house, and these contractors do it, and that water goes into that canal, into the water itself, that's against the Environmental Protection Agency. They can come in here, and they've done it. They'll come in here. You can't shoot bleach in the water around here. You don't shoot the bleach in these areas around here. If you're doing a shopping center or something like I do, yeah, I do it the right way. But just be careful with it, okay? This is your environment that you're dealing with. You shoot bleach in this, you can use soap in the legalities of the MHIC, but you've got to have some common sense about it. Okay, you don't let some kid coming out of high school and going, oh, I can do it. I'll do it for $50 for you. Okay, well then that's what you want. That's what you get. So just use some common sense, please. Use MHIC, read the legalities of it on there. It'll tell you what's the proper thing to do. So that's all.
Thank you. Are there any other residents that want to make a public comment? If you do, please come to the podium, state your name and address, and you will be limited to 5 minutes. Seeing no other resident that wants to make a public comment, I'm closing the floor to public comments, and we're going to move forward to capital requests. There are none. We're going to move forward to CPI violations. Linda?
Yes, these all have received the first and second notice, and per resolution M01, no hearing was requested, and the violation continues. So we are recommending to forward the violations to legal and suspend voting amenity rights. 14 Cape Town Road, 18 Abbott Place, 131 Watertown Road, and for the contractor to resolve 14 Cape Town Road, which is a dangerous tree.
Okay, do I have a motion? So I'm sorry, any motion first. Do I have a motion to proceed to send to legal and have a contractor resolve these violations?
No, just the one.
Okay, discussion? Bruce?
So you're gonna do two motions. The first
Two.
motion is for the CPI violations, the 3 properties that are listed for the CPI.
Okay.
violations. Okay.
Do I have a
And
motion?
that would be a motion to suspend amenity use rights, and voting rights, and to refer to legal for further action.
Okay, our first motion will be to suspend amenity rights, suspend voting rights, and refer to legal those 3 properties that Linda mentioned. Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion. John?
Yes, 5 separate violations, and then including the other one with the tree, yes.
Seeing no further discussion, all in favor of this motion, say aye. Oh, yeah, we had a second, and then we went to discussion. Any opposed or abstentions? This motion carries. What was the second one?
So the second motion is as to 14 Cape Town Road, dangerous tree, and this is a motion to hire a contractor, take care of the dangerous tree, and then assess the owner with the cost.
Okay, I have a motion to bring a contractor onto 14 Cape Town Road to remediate the dangerous tree violation, to send a contractor and have that bill sent to the homeowner. Do I have a second? Any discussion? See no discussion, all in favor say aye. Any opposed or abstentions? That motion carries. Moving forward to unfinished business, we have none. New business, motion to approve revisions to Resolution M08, our association manual. Steve Jacobs.
Thank you, Stuart. This is a motion to consider and adopt revisions to Resolution M08 dealing with association manuals. The purpose of the proposed resolution would amend the current version of M08 dealing with association manuals. Background: at the time of the first reading of M08 at the May 24th, 2025 board meeting, certain changes were recommended by the Bylaws and Resolutions Committee, and further suggested changes would be forthcoming from council prior to the second reading. The red line version before you today reflects both the committee's original edits as well as those of council. The Bylaws and Resolutions Committee endorsed the suggested edits proposed by council. Additionally, the board has before it today a clean copy of M08 with the edits as endorsed by the Bylaws and Resolutions Committee. Most but not all of the listed manuals in attachment A fall under the operations function, which is the responsibility of the general manager. Discussion. As previously discussed, the proposed changes to M08 are meant to address where the responsibility lies for updating and amending the various manuals. It provides for a form to use for that purpose, attachment B. It also leaves the responsibility for changes to the Financial Management Policy Manual and ARC guidelines with the Board of Directors. Recommended changes to the ARC guidelines can originate from the general manager, ARC, or the board itself.
Thank you, Steve. Do I have a second? All in favor? Any discussion? Any discussion on these proposed M08 revisions? See no discussion. I call in question. All in favor of approving this second reading, say aye. Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? Second reading has occurred. Thank you, Stephen. There are no appointments, and seeing we're at the end of our meeting, do I have a motion for adjournment? Do I have a second? All in favor? Aye. No opposed or abstentions. Your meeting has been concluded. We're adjourned.